We need good people in NHS management, and for anybody that wants to pursue a career, there can be nothing better. I think what we fail to do is to expose people sufficiently early doors, and is to get out of their comfort zone and be really challenged by something new, not be frightened of it. It doesn't matter if you actually don't succeed every time, but the fact that you've had a go. People see the public sector as well as being slightly different and not maybe as quite as exciting as some areas of the private sector. But if you look at Leeds Teaching Hospitals Trust, I cannot imagine the plethora of choice that there is for a career in a trust this size. That in itself should challenge somebody who's ambitious enough to want to work here particularly. But having said that, regardless of where you want to go, is to put yourself out, get your networks. That's hugely, hugely important, particularly for women. We've not been very good at this, I have to say. And it's an exciting time to be a woman, actually, an International Women's Day. My goodness me, and this year of all years, to celebrate, the first women getting the vote, what better time to really start thinking about where your future lies and how exciting it can be within the NHS. I'm by nature an entrepreneur. I've had several companies and a working director in others, but I've always at the same time had a foot in the public sector. Not always in health, higher education and the regional agenda, regional economics. So for me, doing something on the side in the public sector role has always been kind of part and parcel. But how did I get into the NHS? Well, I got asked to do a role in the old FHSA days. For those of us who are old enough to remember that. I only did a year, by the way, before they abolished it, so I'm not that old. But it's been quite an interesting journey to go from doing something which was quite part-time as a non-exec into the role as it is today. I've had quite a history across a plethora of different NHS organisations, but at the time this role came up, I was chairing the Leeds Primary Care Trust. And looking across the road into here, you could see that there was a need for some tighter leadership, and always up for a challenge. I didn't easily fall into it. I think there was a bit of persuasion went on. And I have to say the first year was pretty tough. But what you did recognise fairly early doors was that there was so much good work going on in here that was not really recognised, and equally that we have some very, very talented people. And at the end of the day, a successful business, regardless of whether it's private or public sector, is always about people and having the right people doing the right things. So there was a basis on which to build something, which for me is part of the challenge. That's part of what probably gets me out of bed in the morning. And it's proved to be successful. Not every day is full of enjoyment, but if you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, then it's probably the time to stop doing it. Not every day is wonderful, but having said that, once you get into the real challenges of what that day represents or that week may represent, and people inspire you, then you go home thinking, that's a good day's work. And usually it's about what people are doing, their success stories, their challenges. I see my role here as being the connection between not just the internal working of what is a very big organisation, but also to actually make sure the connectivity is outside with all the partners that we need and the national connections to get the support for our ambition. And we have a huge ambition here at Leeds, which is really, really exciting. And that, of course, is now stage 2 of why I came to do the job in the first place.